my brother's grief become our family's nightmare? My brother stopped eating the day our sister died. I found him in Elise's room at 3 a.m. playing her last voicemail on repeat. Almost home. Love you both. While clutching her phone like it was the last piece of her soul left on earth. The drunk driver who killed her got 18 months, and when the verdict was read, Simon's face went so blank I thought we'd lost him too. At her grave, he whispered, "I'll find a way to make this mean something." And honestly, I thought he meant charity runs or something, not whatever nightmare was coming. 8 months later, he announced he was seeing someone who understands loss, and we practically threw a party because he'd finally started eating again and had stopped sleeping in Elise's closet. "She's private," he'd say when Mom begged to meet her. We met at a coffee shop. She's been through trauma too. The red flags were there. He wouldn't say her name, got defensive about therapy saying, "She helps me more than any therapist could," and started this whole forgiveness podcast obsession. But we ignored them because at least he was showering and going to work. Then I found out he'd been visiting the accident site weekly, had printed articles about the driver, and was attending the same AA meetings as her. When I confronted him, he said he'd originally gone just to understand why she did it, to see her as human, to find closure. But then something changed. "You're stuck in anger while I'm evolving," he told me, like grief was something you could level up from. He'd created this whole narrative about how Elise's death was meant to create something beautiful, and kept a journal titled Finding Meaning Through Forgiveness. Mom tried an intervention, but Simon stormed out screaming, "You want me broken forever? I lost my sister." But watching Simon turn her death into his twisted romance felt like losing her all over again. He defended the driver at family dinner. "You don't understand. She's alive to actually feel pain, unlike Elise." Dad's fork bent from gripping it so hard. Some nights I'd cry harder about losing Simon to madness than losing Elise to that drunk driver. Then came the wedding invitation. Simon and Yasmin, and something about that name made my stomach drop. The venue was small, intimate, and when I saw the full name on the program, my blood turned to ice. They were too swallowed by grief, but I recognized her name. "That's her," I whispered to Mom. "That's the driver who killed Elise." Mom's face drained as she grabbed Dad's arm, and then Simon appeared, glowing like a man who'd found religion in hell itself. Before he could say a word, Dad had him by the collar of his shirt, demanding to know who Yasmin really was. He just laughed and said, "When Yasmin hit Elise with her car, she didn't just take a life, she gave me mine. I found her in AA, broken like me. We healed each other. Elise's death wasn't meaningless. It was destiny creating our love." Mom screamed, "She killed our daughter." We were causing a scene, and Yasmin walked over to ask if everything was all right. When she saw us, her face broke out into a smile, saying she was honored to meet us all. Instead, we glared at the necklace around her neck. It was Elise's favorite necklace, the one with a little star she wore everywhere. Mom sobbed, and she asked where the necklace came from. Simon said he gave it to her as a token of forgiveness. My mom reached over and snatched it off her neck, saying, "You don't deserve to wear this." Yasmin, startled, started backing away, sobbing. "You said they knew. You said they forgave me." Simon grabbed her wrist. "Tell them about our late night talks. Tell them how I held you while you cried about killing her. Tell them how I forgave you when no one else would. This is healing. This is love. Elise wanted this." Dad made this horrible grumbling sound before he lunged at Simon. Security had to drag both him and Simon out. Simon was still screaming about divine purpose, while Yasmin collapsed, admitting through tears that he'd stalked her AA meetings for months, manipulated her guilt, convinced her their relationship was penance and redemption, and threatened suicide if she left. I hated how much I believed her. The police came, and the guests left soon after. We found out Yasmin had only served 6 months of her 18-month sentence, early release for good behavior, which made Simon's obsession even more twisted. I used to have 2 siblings. Now I have 2 ghosts. One dead, one walking around trying to serve his own twisted version of justice. Simon got a psychiatric hold but was released within days. Now he posts manifestos online about how the only way to truly forgive someone is to love them. Last week, my cousin saw him outside a grief support group talking to a young woman who had mentioned hitting a kid while under the influence. The obsession continues, and somewhere out there, another grieving person is about to meet my brother, who thinks pain is just the universe's way of playing matchmaker.